All right. Welcome back to the series of sports that I want to talk about that I have no one else to talk about with. F1 edition. So, I've been watching F1 for like a year now. So, now is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Sadly, I'm not there. I literally live like a 45-minute plane ride away. Maybe I could be there for the race tomorrow. Who knows? Last minute, someone want to throw me a ticket. DM me. But, anywho, I've been watching the practices because usually I don't watch the practices because it doesn't really give a good indicator of the race or qualifying. Usually a lot of, it's testing. A lot of people sandbag. Basically, they fuel load up and test the tires, all that type of stuff. You're not really getting a good depiction. You can get a good depiction, but it's not always like accurate. So, anywho, I've been watching the practices because I got a couple notes. There's been some news, there's been some things, and I have something to say before we get to this race tomorrow and qualifying tonight because that's also very important. First things first, there's a title fight between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. They're not on the screen, so don't worry about it. But basically, Max Verstappen has a chance to win the title in Vegas. But what did they do? I don't know if it's a team. I don't know if the FIA trying to, make it a little more spicy, trying to do like how they did in 2021, a very close title fight at the last race. Who knows? But they bring the wrong rear wing to Vegas, meaning that they're losing 7/10 of a second on the straights. Basically, they might not even crack the top 5. That's what it's looking like right now. What it's looking like is like Red Bull in general will not crack the top 5. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but they're not looking good in none of the practices, none of the stuff. We'll see what happens actually tonight in qualifying, but they're just not looking good. So it doesn't look like he's going to win the championship this weekend. But now I'm going to get to the road T because I'm showing Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes because it's his last 3 races with Mercedes. He just came off of a horrible race in Brazil. Absolutely atrocious. So sad. Man was so depressed. He was like, I don't even think I want to drive this no more. He said, let me just take a break. I don't even want to drive this tractor of a car. But anywho, came back this week, lightning fast. Both practices, number 1, speeding through the corners, not looking like he has to fight with the car. It's looking good. And it said that it's one of the colder races of the year, being that it's a night race. And the last 2 of the coldest races, Spa, Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton won. Let's keep that in mind. And Mercedes was fast. So keeping that in mind, I have Mercedes. I need Mercedes to listen closely, Mercedes. I'm talking to y'all. Don't touch their cars. listen, Mercedes, listen. Do not touch the cars. They're doing well. If I see if they're not in at least the top 5, because Ferrari's okay. The McLarens are doing pretty well. If I don't see Mercedes in the top 5 in quali, there's going to be some issues. Especially Lewis, because y'all have been messing with his car and them tire temperatures. The letter came out right before Silverstone. The next thing you know, Silverstone, everything's all good. Everything's all peachy. He wins in Silverstone. Honestly, maybe they don't even know what's going on with the car, which they probably don't. Don't touch the cars. After this practice, let them rest, reset, and qualify well. That's all I'm saying. We don't need to touch nothing on them cars for them to qualify well right now. They're 1 and 2 in the practice. They've been 1 and 2 all weekend. I'm warning Mercedes. Let's see. I'm gonna come back after qualifying, and if y'all will know from my reaction how they do and if they're in the top 5 or not. So we'll come back.